Hello, this is Ryan Ellis speaking, and I have here today two things of note. Most of all, this 2019 Jext Telez White Pedal version 2. You know it's version 2 because of the red knobs. And then in my hands, I have a 1977 Rickenbacker 4001. I'm the third owner of it. Crazy story behind that for another time. To begin this overview of this pedal my own way, in my opinion, 3,000 years ago, when the temple was being built silently in the nation of Israel, which predates the Palestinian terrorists occupying the same land today, Solomon's temple to God was assembled like Legos via ropes and pulleys. Total departure from your usual pedal overview. King Solomon ordered that the work on the site be done in silence, so the banging of hammers was disallowed. Now let's turn to the primary source, as one should always do first. 1 Kings chapter 6, we're going to read a few verses from it, all from the ESV. Verse 7, when the house was built, it was with stone prepared at the quarry, so that neither hammer nor axe nor any tool of iron was heard in the house while it was being built. Verses 11 to 13. Now the word of the Lord came to Solomon concerning this house that you are building. If you will walk in my statutes and obey my rules and keep all my commandments and walk in them, then I will establish my word with you, which I spoke to David your father, and I will dwell among the children of Israel and will not forsake my people Israel. And then finally verses 37 and 38. In the 4th year, the foundation of the house of the Lord was laid in the month of Ziv, and in the 11th year, in the month of Bul, which is 8th month, the house was finished in all its parts according to all its specifications. He was 7 years in building it. He being Solomon, it being the temple 3,000 years ago, thereabouts. From this time. Now I will look at this modern heirloom, the Jext Telez White Pedal version 2. And I can tell just by looking at this apparatus, it was built by a happy person. Though I'm assured much noise, and needful at that, was made in making this perfect pedal that I predict will end up being a Klon-type Holy Grail before long. I just referenced a very true book, the Holy Bible. And speaking of old books, and in this case a fanciful, whimsical one, according to people who think they translated it, finally, the Voynich manuscript. There are 3 words associated with this pedal here that I would very much like to know the meaning of. Of course, the common ones are Jext Telez, the brand name. Where does that come from? Please, if anyone knows, let me know. And then finally, and unique to this pedal, one of one, matuoginations here on the side. Bob Ebeling is the designer and engineer of this pedal. He hand built it in Detroit. He clearly knew whoever he made this pedal for because he wrote all over it in paint pen. I don't believe I've seen another white pedal version 1 or 2 quite marked up like this. If anyone can decipher what matuoginations is, when I bought it at the Guitar Center, I got it from not Reverb, not some fancy store, no, just a plain Jane Guitar Center. Support your brick and mortar if you can. I asked the manager, what does matuoginations mean? And all he could tell me was the guy who owned it last was a cool dude. So I'm assuming it's his surname. If your guess is better than mine, please let me know. Also, he wrote on the box that this came in, it says white pedal CESE number 1 of 1, and then it says the Bob snail, probably for Bob Ebeling. This was made with much mirth. I am very happy to have it. Just like I referenced from 1 Kings concerning this house that you are building. If you will walk in my statutes, obey my rules, keep all my commandments, and walk in them, then I will establish my word with you, which I spoke to your father, and I will dwell among the children of your people, and will not forsake my people. I hope to use this well and honorably, and thereby maybe be blessed. I don't want to be twisting scripture. Not facing either camera right now. Let's see if I can twist it around. It says 21st Century Schizoid Man, from the famous one-hit wonder. I know they continued as a band, but they broke up as the original members, from King Crimson, in the Court of the Crimson King, I think the album's called, and the lead single, the breakout song that they always said sounded better live. So look up the live version before you listen to the album version. The band themselves say that they were a far better live band than a band recorded in a studio setting. Honor their wishes. It's my understanding also that this song, which I'm assuming that this pedal, which has this custom Ebeling setting, edition 1 of 1, and also signed and dated by the builder Bob Ebeling, if you just twist this, you roll off this knob, the treble knob, up here to about 12 o'clock, leave everything else dimed out, with the Yoko knob being at any setting, you will get the 21st Century Schizoid Man setting, or at least that's what I assume the purpose of having that written on the side means. It's kind of neat that this pedal ships blank. You get stickers, you can decide how you want to customize it, but in this case, the person who bought it, I'm assuming, probably so trusted the owner, which I would be the same way if I bought a pedal from him, direct from him, that he said, you customize it yourself. I very much love the result. I hate to say it, but I have to be honest. When I first got it, I had for a half a second the idea of getting, dare I say it, rubbing alcohol and rubbing off the paint pen markings. But then I said, no, this was put here by someone who really loved this pedal, and I decided to leave it. And then as I just sort of stared at it for a while, I realized it was signed by the guy who made the pedal. I mean, I dare not take it off because this pedal is beloved. Like I said, this is going to be a future Klon. This is going to be a pedal that people very much are hot after. To have the guy who made it marking it up himself, I know it's going to probably fall off because I actually have right here another red and white fuzz pedal by Cattle and Bread, limited edition 2020, to give money to the evil Red Cross. I hear they are not very on the up and up anymore. I put on the back my sketch of Hippocrates and then wrote in Latin on the side, primum non nocere, or first do no harm, the Hippocratic Oath, because, Red Cross, Hippocratic Oath, they're going to live up to their ideals. What higher of an ideal would there be than the Hippocratic Oath itself? I've had to repaint it on here with paint pens because it just falls off all the time. So I know that eventually the paint pen markings on this pedal are going to peel off. I'm already mourning that, and I'm wondering if I should spray clear coat or if that takes away from its goodness. I should say that I just have one piece of trivia about 21st Century Schizoid Man. So instead of playing 21st Century Schizoid Man on this pedal, since it's too difficult for me to play just yet as it is, just gonna say words, because that's what you came here for, right? There's a book, it was put out by Western Michigan University. I'm from here in Michigan. There's a book called The Philosophy of Cannabis. What were we just talking about? That's the subtitle. It is, or at least I'm aware it was, the first studious book published that cited a double-blind study on the topic of marijuana. It was done in Canada. It concluded that the positive benefits of recreational marijuana were negligible, or not much, or not worth it. It could go either way. That book itself, The Philosophy of Cannabis, is a collection of essays both for and against cannabis, and its foreword was written by the editor of High Times. I remember there was an essay inside written by the drummer of King Crimson, who said that while recording this famous record, he found that when he smoked cannabis, he could not play as well, so he had to play sober to be his best. Certainly, famously, the Motor City Madman himself, Uncle Ted, Ted Nugent, insists his fellow musicians be sober while playing, and I'm sure throughout life, since he says it makes them better players in the groove. This pedal does not just have what Bob Ebeling wrote that the Yellow Jacket Dizzy Tone has, that being a prestigious feel. No, I dare say the White Pedal version 2 has a prestidigitacious feel. That is a thaumaturgic one, or magic one. I don't believe in magic. I do believe in this pedal, though, as a faithful representation of the Vox Champion, or at least it faithfully makes my ears happy whenever I play it. How about that? Oh, and one more thing before we listen to this pedal. I just have an idea for Mr. Ebeling. He said that he's done making pedals. He's out of the game. He's taken his poison pill, and he's wearing his Nikes like that one cult had their cult people do. But just one crazy idea for Mr. Ebeling. You have the John, Paul, George, and Ringo knobs. Then you have this Yoko knob. So that's 5. You have the 4 Beatles and the one who broke them up. Allegedly. This is version 2 of a Detroit designed and made pedal. I know that Detroiter Jack White is obsessed with the number 3 and has lately gotten involved with guitar pedal collaborations. Maybe Jack White and Bob Ebeling and Colin Simon, the 3 again, could work out a deal to make a version 3 of the White pedal, maybe with blue knobs instead of red or white, since blue is Jack White's present color of choice. Version 3, in my opinion, then, needs a May Pang knob that almost reunites the Beatles. I wonder what sonic signature that would embody. At least we got a Toot and Snore in 74 from May Pang. She almost reunited them. Maybe the May Pang knob in the White pedal version 3 with Jack White collaborating can feature a more quote-unquote modern sound sound or effect from the early 70s that either John or Paul or Stevie Wonder or Harry Nilsson for that matter used. There's my suggestion, my not asked for suggestion. Apologies, but I couldn't help myself. Now let's get on to hearing this pedal. I'm just going to play a couple different melodies over and over again, showing different combinations of knob settings so you can hear what it sounds like. Thank you very much for listening to this intro. Let's get on to the part you all tuned in for. We're going to start with the custom Ebeling setting, dimed out volume, gain, 12 o'clock treble, and dimed out bass. And then the Yoko knob on the far left, because she's a far lefty. Let's go to the middle. Let's red pillar a little bit. Let's get her to the far right. Yoko is out of her mind according to the mainstream media now. She's on the far right. Now let's just dime everything out, stay on the far right, as we should. I don't know, just making jokes as I go. Get her in the middle again, as John used to always do. Back where she has always been in reality, the far left, Miss Yoko Ono, everyone. All right, let's try a different melody, and let's do the AM effect where you roll off the bass. Ooh, so good. Yoko on the far left. What a surprise. Yoko back to the middle. I need to intonate this again. And the far right. The delicious far right white. Oh boy, Freudian. So delicious. This pedal really sings when played with an instrument that the amp it imitates would have been played with. But I think this pedal really can work for anything. Well, I haven't tried it with anything, but boy, is it, as I said again, delicious. A delicious pedal to use. Sometimes something is so good, it starts coming out your nose. You're sick of it, like manna and quail, one might say. I do think this pedal will be, like I said, this is an heirloom pedal. It will be used and praised and sought for many, many years. That being said, one thing said of this pedal, maybe even by the owner, if I remember correctly, you can roll off the second knob, the gain knob. Little trick I'm going to show you here. I've got this other fuzz pedal, the Catalan Bred Blood Donor. I'm going to send this fuzz through this fuzz turned off pedal, but use all the other controls to shape the sound. Very, very cool. me roll off that bass a little bit, or that right here. That's using the custom Ebeling setting. Oh, well, custom Ebeling setting with the gain rolled off, the fuzz rolled off, and this Catalan bred blood donor circa 2020 pedal. Try a different little melody here. Now let's put Yoko back on the far left where she has always been. Running joke of the day. And I'm not in tune. Let me just, for kicks and giggles, something that was never suggested, but why not do it anyways? I've got here a Walrus Audio Monument pedal. This is a harmonic tremolo pedal, just for kicks and giggles and whatnot. I'm gonna plug it in instead of the fuzz, or in addition to the fuzz, use it and see what it makes of everything. Not sure if I should have it before or after the fuzz, but I'm having it before just because that's where the fuzz would usually go. See what happens. Maybe I should go after the fuzz. It's making the fuzz cut off, and I think the fuzz should be pre-existing. But that little whoa, 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 whoa is coming from the Monument, not the Jext Telez. Now, this is the Jext Telez with an AM setting. That is the bass rolled off, and Yoko is comfortably where she always likes to be, on the far left, and going into a Monument pedal by Walrus Audio. This is a version 1. This is a harmonic tremolo pedal. All right. Bring that bass back, buddy. All right, let's just get back to the plain old Jane old Matugenations pedal. I mean, Jext Telez white pedal version 2. All right, I'm just having so much fun with this pedal. I've tried it out with a cattle and bread fuzz pedal. I've tried it out with a Walrus Audio Monument harmonic tremolo pedal. Now to finish off, all natural, the Matugenations itself. I mean, the white pedal itself by Bob Ebeling's Jext Telez. Bob Ebeling, Colin Simon. And again, please consider collaborating with your own neighbor, Jack White, to make a version 3 with blue knobs and a fifth knob for May Pang, maybe on the other side, because Tootin' Snorin' 74. Maybe get some 1974 era transistors or something. It's up to you. Unasked for advice. Can't help it. Back to that AM setting. I'm just having fun with that today. I'll make more of these videos. This is just one of a series, possibly. Imagine that. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ryan Ellis. This video goes out to Mr. JM. If you like this pedal, please don't contact me. Contact its creator, the burned out from FUZZ, Bob Ebeling himself. Ask him to make the white pedal version 3, collaborating with Jack White using blue knobs, because blues is a new color, and a sixth knob on the side or wherever for May Pang, who almost brought the Beatles back together. Sort of the opposite of Yoko. I hope you guys have a nice day. Make videos like this. We need more pedal reviews and we need more people supporting brick and mortar stores. I bought this at a Guitar Center. I know, evil corporate, but it's better than buying online. Buy from your brick and mortar stores because that keeps people in your community working in whatever area of interest you're supporting with your money. In this case, music. What they call it in Germany, music is the breadless art. I know we have so many great German composers from Germany, but yet today they call it the breadless art. Well, let's turn that around. Put your money where your heart is. Support your local artists. Au revoir.